Good morning. I'm gonna find a better place to do these recordings because in here it's got a pretty horrendous echo, but for now it's gonna work. My name is Leif Barterson and I run Winter Raid Mechanical. My wife and I together, and we are a small automotive repair shop in Seward, Alaska. And I'm starting this channel kind of just to explain who we are, where we've come from, and what we're doing. We're kind of unique in the sense that we literally live on the premise. We have moved out of our house because real estate in Seward is horrendous. What we're seeing in Seward is actually very similar to what happened in Aspen, Colorado, when real estate started going up so high that literally nobody lives there anymore. The property is all owned by people that come down once or twice a year, maybe, and all the people that work there actually have to get bussed up from somewhere else because nobody actually lives there. We're not there yet here in Seward, but we're getting there. So we are just trying to make ends meet, and that's what we are doing. So I'll give you a tour of the shop a little bit later. But basically, I've worked for my family for most of my life since I was about 14 years old. I started working at the family business. We were a heavy equipment repair and rental shop. So we rented anything from like a little Bobcat skid steer all the way up to a little mini excavator, but also as far as like the heavy equipment goes. And then we also did, smaller generators, air compressors, even something as small as just a hammer or a ladder. So we kind of had a little bit of everything. In fact, kind of our unspoken motto is we don't have a lot, but we have a little bit of everything. Anyways, I worked for them until basically the beginning of this year, where I jumped ship and started this business. We actually bought the building, actually started negotiating the purchase last year, finalized it in January, and now we're here. And the intent was actually to move the family business here, but we have decided to go a different route since my parents did not want to rent the building. And so I'm here now. Honestly, not to get too deep in the weeds of what all the family politics that led to this place that I'm in now. It was honestly something that was kind of a long time coming. This is literally what I went to school for, so it's finally good to finally do what my actual formal schooling was. I will admit I miss the old work sometimes, but man, I'm loving being my own boss. However, I will say anybody who's ever worked for themselves will absolutely agree to this. When you are your own boss, I promise you, you will have never worked for a bigger asshole. Think about it. All right, who's gonna work on the weekends? Who's gonna work on the holidays? Who's gonna work after hours? By the way, this is Darkly. She is a lab pit bull mix. Yes, she's actually not even my dog. She is a friend of mine who actually rents the bay in the back of the shop for me. And he is actually living here with us as well. I'll introduce you to all the dogs. This is just one. Yeah, there are the shop dogs, and they love the shop dog life. So anyways, now my wife, she also grew up here in Seward. We're both lifelong Alaskans. The running joke is nobody actually is from Alaska. They just move here. That is mostly true, but there are a few of us that were actually born here. Both my wife and I were born here, and we both grew up and graduated from Seward High School. We were never a couple in high school together. That was never anything in the eye there. That was something we kind of went our own paths and then came back and met each other again. And one thing led to another, and here we are today. We have 3 children and 2 dogs and a crazy life where we are living in a 24-foot camper with our 2 dogs and our 3 children. And it's working so far. We're actually enjoying it. We're actually enjoying it a lot better than at our house, believe it or not. My wife even told me the other day, which I'll admit my wife is a bit of a princess when it comes to her living situation. So to hear her say this was actually kind of incredible. She said, I actually like man camp better than home. I don't have to worry so much about the kids making things dirty because everything's already dirty. It is true, but I mean, think about it, like at our house, if they run their greasy little fingers down the hallway as they're walking, then yeah, oh, okay, we're gonna have to clean that up. Don't have to worry about they're here. If they, get rowdy and put a hole in the wall because they were roughhousing and one of their heads went through the wall, well, it's a shop. At the house, that would have been a big deal. Walking in with dirty boots, I walk around here in boots all day. It doesn't matter. So in a lot of ways, it actually, though the comfort level might not necessarily be as high, the comfort level is offset by the fact that you don't have, your stress level is down. You don't have to be on edge as much. But anyways, so my kind of got off in the woods there a little bit. My wife, she went to school to be a school teacher, basically. She got a degree in English and immediately found how worthless that degree was, especially here in Seward. But now she has completely jumped ship and changed careers, and now she is working as a medical assistant at one of the local native clinics, and she is actually working on getting her nursing degree, and that's actually going really well. In fact, she's going to be taking the accelerated nursing program hopefully next year. And but yeah, I'm just here working away and doing that whole number. So without further ado, I think I'll give you guys a tour of the shop. So starting with the office, this is basically what you see the first time when you walk in. And first of all, I apologize for the mess. We just wrapped up a very busy week, and I haven't had a chance to clean. I usually try to do a deep clean on the weekends. I'll spot clean during the week, but weekends is where I get the heavy cleaning done. But we just got the single 2-post 12,000 pound lift where I do the majority of the work. Anything that doesn't require the lift, I just do right here on the floor. And it's not much, but this is ours. And again, I apologize for that horrendous echo. We got some major back burner projects over here. Customer just wants it fixed, but is not in any sort of rush because, well, it's spring and he's not going to be using that thing until next summer. Again, this is Darkly. You guys have already met her. We do have a bit of a barricade here, so the dogs try not to jump over it, although Darkly just recently started jumping over it, and Bowie, he's been jumping over it for a while, but Aslan, our big dog, he doesn't even try to jump over it. He just tries to barricade through it. But eventually we're going to build a double door there and block all the dogs off entirely. Just because, not everybody is super stoked about dogs, and we want to respect that. This is our living area, kind of in the middle bay here. We've got it kind of set up, kind of like a living room. We got our TV and couches here, or I should say the dog beds. And our fridge and dining area over here. So we've kind of gotten it set up. But yeah, the dogs really like laying on the couch. And then here, we haven't met Bowie yet. This is Bowie. He is also a mix, and we believe that him and Darkly are cousins somehow. But obviously no proof. And then this is Aslan. Aslan is going deaf and blind. You can still see and hear a little bit, but it is incredibly diminished. He gets around mostly on Dead Reckoning and Scent of Smell, and that's basically it. He used to be a sweet dog where, it's kind of tense for the first 5 minutes that you meet him, when you first meet him, but after 5 minutes, he's your best pal. But now he's kind of a grumpy old man that can't see very well, can't hear very well, and, well, we don't let him meet the customers anymore. But Bowie, on the other hand, he usually jumps over the barricade and immediately greets people, which even though he's sweet and doesn't bark at all, we still want to prevent that because not everybody's stoked about dogs. But yep, anyways, that's what this is. So now that we're outside, we can kind of show you the rest of the shop. This bay over here is my buddy Travis's bay. That's the friend that I was talking about that owns Darkly, that lives here with us as well. I'm not going to show you his bay just because it is his bay. Want to respect his privacy, but anyways, we now actually live in this little camper over here instead of our house. It's working. We actually really enjoy it a lot, actually. And then we got all of our customers' vehicles here that are here at the shop. I have quite a few that I'm going to be calling in. They have to bring them in, obviously. But we have potential to have a lot more vehicles in the lot. Not that I really want that, because that just means our wait time increases. And right now I'm already about 2 to 3 weeks out. And so definitely don't want to go any further past that. I kind of made a promise to myself in the beginning that I don't want my customers to have to wait more than 2.5 weeks for a vehicle. If it gets longer than that, I need to hire somebody else on to help me turn wrenches. But what I've found, there's two things. Number one, I think the number one thing that I need more than anything is somebody in the office to write estimates, somebody that knows things about automotive, that they need to kind of be a mechanic themselves so that they know how to write estimates. I've heard horror stories of people doubling time where they'll charge for, a wheel bearing and a U-joints as separate labor when they should be the same, because you're only going into that hub once. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But the other thing too is, even though I really need an office person, I'm probably not going to hire anybody my first year, mostly because I don't even have a system in place for myself yet, let alone try to teach somebody how the business runs and how I want them to write estimates when I haven't even quite ironed out all the details yet. So I'm going to struggle through the first year, and then next year I'll probably hire somebody on. But I did want to give you a little point of interest in some of the vehicles on the lot that are mine and not customers. And some of them I have plans for, some of them I don't. But first of all, this one here, this is a 1967 Chevy Malibu. It's got a 283 gas V8 in it. Of course, everything back then was gas. Now, I am almost certainly not going to do anything with the engine in this thing. Probably just going to eventually get scrapped. I will see if I can get it running, but that is not going to be it in its final form. That is if I even decide to get it running. It might be too far gone. I know it doesn't look bad, but when you look a little closer, it's got some pretty horrendous rust. Some of the brakes are seized up on it. It's been growing moss for some time. Yeah, it's got some issues. I mean, not that it couldn't be fixed. It's just, man, this thing is, even as straight as it is, it's going to need a lot of work. There's another nice big rust hole. Big one over here. I mean, technically it's all there. It's just, gosh, how much time do I want to put into it? If I did make it into a running vehicle, it's probably going to get some sort of LS swap. I know everybody's doing an LS swap. I get it. But honestly, I'm not going to have a whole lot of time for this thing anyway, so it would probably get something like a 5.3 or something like that. But that's if we even do anything with it. The other option that we do have is clean it up a little bit, not do anything as far as restoring it, and put it up front and basically use it as a sign for our business. One idea that my buddy Travis had is take it kind of angled like this up against a signpost, have the signpost slightly offset to where it looks like it ran into the signpost, and we can, vinyl lettering on the side, Winter Raven Mechanical, something like that. Something kind of fun and unique. One of the businesses down the street back in the 80s took a car, cut the top of a tree off to where it's just or maybe it was just a pole. I can't remember. Anyways, they have this pole like this, and they just plop this car right on top. And the car that's up there, I want to say is like a Chrysler New Yorker. I'm pretty sure, which was a brand spanking new car back in the 80s when it first went up there. And it's still up there. It's basically almost, actually, I think it is over 40-year-old brand new car. Just plopped right there on the top. But so we might do something like that, just kind of fun. But what do you guys think? Is it a keeper? Is it fixable? What do you guys think? Put it down in the comments. I'm going to talk about the motorcycles in a separate video, but for now, this is the last one. I'm calling this one Babe the Blue Ox. It's a 1978 Ford F800. Started life as a dump truck, and now I've got it. Haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm pretty sure I'm going to turn it into a tool truck for, you know, mobile repairs, things of that nature. But any of you that saw the short where I took the old, it actually technically is not a 390. It's actually technically a 361 FT. Not gonna get too in the weeds on the details of that motor, but there it is right now underneath the roof drain. So it gets water all the time, and here in Seward, trust me, there's not gonna be any lack of rainwater. But it's set up in a way that shouldn't overwater either. But anyways, I have a separate motor that we already had for this thing. It's another 361 FT, and that's the one we're going to build and put in it. We're probably going to improve the bodywork on it over time, but for now I want to get an engine in it working. I have some other plans for it that are kind of exciting, but I don't want to spoil anything yet because honestly it's so far away. There's no point of even talking about that yet. But for now, yeah, we're going to throw that 361 FT motor in it, get it working, and throw a deck on here and make it into a tool truck. In fact, if I hadn't mentioned, my buddy Travis that rents the bay from me, what he's doing is going to be welding, fabricating, custom work, and eventually he's getting his tow truck and doing tow work. But he is really into the custom fab and welding. He prefers aluminum, but you know, he'll do steel as well, stainless, carbon, whatever. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. This is gonna be a nice, fun, long-term project. This will probably be the vehicle we also drive in the 4th of July parade. Not this year. It's a little bit too tight for that, but one day if you're ever in Seward and on the 4th of July, you'll probably see this thing rolling down 4th Avenue for the parade. But anyways, I think I'm gonna sign off, guys. This will be a good first introduction video, kind of talking about what we do here. You know, this is a kind of a commercial lot, but for a commercial lot, hang on, let me get to the center of the lot and show you what I'm talking about. For a commercial lot, this place has an amazing view. Let me get a full 360. The mountains in the background. It's kind of overcast today, but man, on a sunny day, this place gets so much light. It is incredible how much light it gets. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that's all for that. I'll sign off, and I'll talk to you guys later.